Since we're celebrating today, I thought we should talk about the most important thing in our lives as business people, as clients. And I promise you, this is not going to be a boring thing where how do you deal with your clients, etc. So I'd like to say our clients are all big babies. They're like fat babies. And why do I say that? Well, yogurt isn't a hack. It's something I never thought I'd say. But recently I found myself arguing with a screaming toddler, incidentally my nephew, explaining that you cannot wear dairy products. And what do us parents do after a wild tantrum? And what do we do? We Google like mad. And any article about pacifying a toddler will do. Most recently, I read this article called A Field Guide to Taming Tantrums in Toddlers in the New York Times. And afterward, had a very interesting thought. We all end up using these same techniques on our clients. Now, this is not one of those articles where you wonder if me or the author are against the subject or for the subject, because it's not a debate. The truth is, we are all big babies, and most adults are actually children. We melt down when hungry or snip at a partner when we're tired. So hangry is the adult version of a tantrum, and believing you're so emotionally intelligent that this couldn't possibly apply to you is only a sign of how wrong you are. So I want to share a few strategies I've learned from parenthood that also apply to clients. And I'll get a little help along the way from Paul Underwood, the article of the New York Times article. So a few strategies learned from parenthood. Number one, this is normal. In an ideal world, clients would be perfectly agreeable and trusting. They would take our creative advice without fuss or disagreement, making for a smooth project every time. They'd refer us to everyone they know too. However far from reality this may seem, the truth is working and being cranky go hand in hand. In business, you will work with people who, like toddlers, are frustrated and can't express themselves and aren't in control. As Daniel Siegel, MD, a neuropsychiatrist, and Dr. Tina Payne Bryson, PhD, a psychotherapist, wrote in their book, The Whole Brain Child, they said toddlers haven't mastered the ability to use logic and words to express their feelings, and they live their lives completely in the moment. That's completely normal for toddlers and clients alike. Number two, stay calm. I recall a particularly uncomfortable conversation between a client, a co-worker, and myself. My project partner and I were explaining our creative point of view when the client steered the conversation to the low road of insult and pettiness. The client said something he shouldn't. My co-worker said something he shouldn't. And the whole thing went to hell. The aim is to stay calm, even if the client doesn't. In the Times article, Underwood spoke with Dr. Rebecca Schrag-Hirschberg, PhD, a clinical psychologist and the author of the book called The Tantrum Survival Guide. And she had these wise words to say. Your goal is to reset the temperature, not take it and respond to it. So when you're dealing with clients, stay calm and do not give in to their whims and fancies. Number three, give options. When we're upset, one of the oldest parts of the brain switches on, the amygdala. It's a component of the limbic system believed to play an important role in emotion and behavior, as well as processing fear. You can blame it for road rage and panic attacks. Understanding the amygdala is one thing, controlling it is quite another. So you'll learn to give options as a way to downshift this part of the toddler's brain. It helps guide him away from reactivity to the calmer waters of the prefrontal cortex, the area of the brain associated with decision-making and moderating social behavior. I've seen it work with clients too, and so would you have. When faced with a client who doesn't want to play nice, try activating the upstairs brain, Siegel and Bryson's terminology, not mine, with questions and critical thinking. Not only will this make for a more peaceful conversation, it will be a source of useful and productive information. Number four, get them involved. Okay, it's bath time. The rubber ducky is in the water is in the tub, but the toddler is nowhere to be found. Rather than battling a naked flailing toddler, I find it's best to give him a job on the way to bath time. This can be fetching a towel or getting his pajamas prepped for a night-night. Although not backed by science or psychology, I've seen it work. The underlying concept is simple. It's really hard to be mad when you are the boss. The same goes for clients. Like the previous tip, it helps to get a client involved by asking questions and helping them understand that they're part of the process. When a client is integrated into the decision making, they're more invested and agreeable because our decisions are their decisions. And patience. It's perhaps the hardest and most useful skill I've learned as a parent. It's a tough lesson to learn because patience is required in minutes and years. It is needed for a diaper change as well as long-term developmental growth. But this time was more precious in the business world. It's one of the things we hear most when talking to a potential client. We're in a hurry. We want everything now. Deadlines. Well, it's possible to steal bits of times during a project. Obviously, I'm not saying do not stick to deadlines. Deadlines have to be stuck to, but it's still possible to steal those bits of times and have that patience in the process. This could be maybe refraining from sending an email until the end of the day, pushing a meeting, or sometimes just taking it slow and really understanding what the client needs. You'd be amazed at what can happen when you let time work its slow wonder. Now, even though all squares are rectangles, not all rectangles are squares. Rarely do we have to play the parental role and use such tactics because, our clients, they're perfect little angels most of the time. And when we do have to be the adult in the room, as they say, it's because we want to help, not because we want them to go the hell to sleep. So thank you, everybody. This article, written here, is by Patrick Keenan, the creative head at 100 Monkeys, very interesting person. And the article in the New York Times is called The Field Guide to Taming Tantrums in Toddlers by Paul Underwood. The photos are property of the respective owners. I can send you the links to these articles if you want to read them. If you have little toddlers, I think the article on taming tantrums is very interesting.